Hey, welcome to Muskie Road Rules Podcast and Patreon. Guys, thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in every week to listen and watch at what we're showing on here. For guys, I really appreciate all the Patreon members. Super easy to do. All you got to do is go to patreon.com, search Muskie or Muskie Road Rules, and all you got it's going to subscribe. $8 a month, you get everything we've ever done on Patreon all year. Will come to you. We do probably 40 to 50-minute segments on here, and yeah, people seem to like it. Some hate it, and they tell me about it. So it's all good on both ends. So guys, it is early November. Water temps are now in the where I'm at in Western Minnesota, the 45, 6, 7 degree mark, depending on what lake you're on, and fish have been, they've been okay. It's not been a great year regardless of anything. The fishing's been getting a little bit better. Now it's getting colder. We got some of the first real cold coming this weekend. So kind of excited to see that finally hitting. But, you know, it's coming to the end, and, you know, there's some fish getting caught. And I'm hearing about quite a few fish caught as well. A few really big ones. But yeah. So, but tonight on the podcast, we got some guys joining us. I got Chase Gibson and I have Jeff Schulte. Chase, of course, from Gibson's Guide Service and Muskie, Mayhem's 10,000 Cast, and Jeff from Muskie Buster and Bomb Squad Baits. How's it going, guys?
Going good.
Going good, Greg.
Good.
I wish it was Buster. Bumper. I could use
Muskie Buster, Bumper, whatever. It's you know what I'm talking about.
Great
both are wonderful, and facts are optional on this podcast. Trust me. Anyone's ever listened to this thing knows facts are optional on this bad boy. But Chase, you're up at Leech still. I'm assuming that's your house.
Yep.
And what is that? Is that looks like a bottle of Blanton's? Weller
Some
Red Label.
Yeah.
It looks like is that Buffalo Trace?
Mm-hmm.
And then it almost looks like an E.H. Taylor, but I don't think that's it. What is it?
It is. It's E.H.
Did I get all of them?
You did.
I got them all. God, my mom would be so proud that I'm an alcoholic. Oh God, she would be great. Let me tell you a story on my mom. My mom and sister. My mom has never drank a drop of alcohol in her life, or she has. You know, maybe that's how I was conceived. But her and my sister go to Buffalo Wild Wings for lunch last Sunday. I have no idea why my mom wants to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. And so they go and they see on the table that there was $15 buckets. Now, I would assume everyone listening to this, including you guys, know what $15 buckets mean. My mother does not know what $15 buckets mean. She assumed it was KFC, and she was going to get a big old bucket of chicken. And my mother, who is afraid of beer and carries a Windex bottle of holy water and will spray you if you're drinking one, all of a sudden now has 8 beers in front of her that I would have loved to seen her face, because the little church woman, I'm sure, was pissed. But that's my mother's latest alcohol story. I wish there was more. But yeah, now that Chase got me on that subject, what's happening up there, Chase? You look Amish. That beard you got the Amish starter kit going with that beard.
I've heard that plenty of times, Greg.
Well, no, it is. You've got that round face. Are you sure you're not a bit Amish?
There's definitely a possibility of it. I really hope not, but there's a possibility of it.
You do, because you have a beard, but you don't have a mustache.
No, I can't grow one. And the lighting's really not doing me any justice right now. There is one there. It's really blonde, I think.
Yeah, right. Well, mine used to be, mine's just white or gray. I look like I got the mange. I can't grow a beard. Jeff's sitting over there with Harry's Ragers, mad at him for growing it. And me, I cannot grow a beard. I look really bad. I mean, I look stupid anyway, But me with a beard, I look like Jane Lynch with a 5 o'clock shadow. But anyway, Chase, God, get me back on subject here. How's fishing been?
It's been really good. It was kind of crap for a while, and then I don't know, last week sometime actually Jeff came up and fished, and that was the first time that I'd been on the water in probably a week and a half up here, 2 weeks, and it's been really, really solid since. Not a ton of fish, but a lot of really, really big fish.
Yeah, well, that's good. What's been working?
Pretty much rubber, anything rubber. We got some fish. Jeff got one on an underdog, actually, which I got right here. Most people probably don't even know what an underdog is anymore. I don't even know if Brad really makes them anymore, actually. They're kind of a heavier weighted bulldog. It's a double dog, basically, but instead of the tails being, this way, they're up and down. And then I threw some blades on the back just to play with it. The reason we were throwing that, we were fishing a deeper weed edge, and Leech is a really big lake, and it gets a lot of wind, so you'll get a lot of stirred up water. Well, the water is pretty darn dirty in there. And Jeff threw that puppy on and smoked that big one with those blades and extra tails. I think's the key with that one. But that bait's been working. Quad dogs, swim baits, kind of everything, honestly. Just anything stop and go.
Yeah. How big was the good one you got, Jeff? Was it good?
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was 51 and a half by 24, so it was pretty stout.
Nice. And that was
what did you raise that fish on first?
I don't know. I think that giant rubber bait that I homemade.
Yeah. Because he brought it up, and it just totally didn't even see the bait. Like, came into the 8 and just swam off, and he's like, that thing's got to be blind. Of course, thinking, well, your 8 was kind of shitty or whatever. And I'm coming in, just yo-yoing it back through the weed tops, and it smashed it. And sure shit, it had a fucked up eye. So crazy as I thought he wasn't wrong.
Huh. Well, that's cool. Is there many guys out fishing right now, or is it pretty slow? It's pretty nothing by me.
Yeah, it's pretty nothing as well. Last Saturday, I seen probably 3 or 4 other muskie boats, maybe. I can get away from them pretty easily. So I'm not really seeing anybody.
No. Yeah, it's been pretty, pretty bare by me too. A few guys out, but I don't know. I would assume with deer season coming up this weekend that it's going to get even more empty and stuff. What's your water temps out there?
Walker Bay's like 48, I think. Main Lake's anywhere from 43 to 46.
Okay, so you've got even cooler water there. Well, you're really going to probably hit a drop here come this weekend with 3 days in the 30s and even one in the 20s. I seen.
And there's some decent wind with it too, so it'll definitely cool it off. Which I'm looking forward to it too as well. So. Yeah.
That's what I think. So I think it's going to actually really, really help. Jeff, have you got out fishing much this year?
Not much, honestly. With Chase, it was kind of the last time. This summer, I did a few more walleye trips. I fished a little bit around home, but nothing that was too consistent. It's the joy of being a bait builder and a board builder. Your summers get consumed a lot faster than you'd hope. And it's good to be busy.
Yeah, no, it is. So you took over the Muskie Bumper, not Buster. I knew that stuff from Chase this year. Yep. And how has it been?
It's been good. It was I think a good timing for both of us, right? Chase is a guide, and I don't think there's anything in this world that's going to change that. And as he knows, owning Bumper, it took a lot of his time off of the water. I think just when you don't want to be where you're at, when you want to be out on the water fishing and you've got to go punch a clock wherever it is, that's really hard, especially when you're as into it as Chase is. And he put that year in and he made the decision, and I was having to kind of make some transitions where I was at. My hands were giving me some problems, so painting's been a little bit of an issue, and especially clear coating. And I was actually looking outside of the fishing space to, find that next direction. and it just kind of clicked at the right time. So the boards are a little easier on my hands, and I had the space to do it, and so said, what the hell, let's make it happen.
So with the bump boards and stuff, how anything new for this year? I was telling you before we got started here, I'm going to need a new bump and go board. The skinny, I personally like that because it takes up less room in the boat. I drive a tiller, an old 620 tiller. Big on vintage stuff here, big vintage. And that bait or that board was one that actually, when Jeremy had musky bumper, I talked him into making me one, and just to save space because I would step on the other one and all that. And so I just like that skinnier board and just find it to be easier. Do you sell many of those?
Actually, yeah. It's kind of weird. Time of the year depends, but like show season, we sell a lot of them. I mean, and it's just for that reason. It's space. Not everybody's got a 21-foot boat with more room than they know what to do with. And even those guys that do have 21-foot boats, space becomes a premium, right? We've all got 2, 3, 4 Lakewoods stuffed in there. And so, yeah, the simplicity of the bump and go, the accuracy of it, easy, fits behind anything. Along with that mentality, we actually created something and released it here this July, the Trifold. So it's a little bit wider than our original bumper, but it folds into 20-inch sections instead of 30. So I've actually got one here because I knew this would probably come up.
But, yeah, here, let's try this. Let me see if I can do this. This is like, oh, gross. No, we want to do it this way. There we go.
There
all right.
We go.
Wow. I got a real shot of some Amish there. That was, oh God. All right, let's go. Let's see what you got there.
Yeah, this is the Trifold, double hinged, so it opens kind of like a Z, and you can just see how smaller it is. Being only 20 inches instead of 30, that 33% makes a big difference in the boat, where it can fit, where you can pack it. Getting it in and out of rod lockers or storage, if you choose to put your stuff in there, it's not nearly as much of a challenge. And it seems to kind of take care of itself a little bit better as far as getting banged up, getting stepped on, and whatever. So that we came out with. We played with it last year, and then, again, it came out end of July or early August this year, and that one's been doing really well, especially up in Canada. Guys got a little bit smaller boats. We've been doing a lot with, like, lodges and stuff just because of that space. Again, it's every inch matters, and when we can condense it down, that's been really nice. So working on a Trifold bump and go, actually, to accommodate some of those guys. The goal is to get it to fit in the front pouch of a Lakewood so it can be really portable. And like,
I want a wallet size.
Yeah, there you go.
A nice wallet size. That's what I would like. With what I've caught this year, that would measure just about most of the fish that I've dealt with. A nice wallet size board. That's a good idea. I like that, the Trifold. That's pretty cool. Let me ask you this. How can you get so accurate with that? I mean, if it was me, you don't even know the fucked upness it would turn into.
Yes.
I personally want it fucked up. If you could start it on 6, that would be a great board for me.
We can definitely eliminate some numbers. No,
that would be good.
It's kind of a and Chase knows this as well as anybody. It's a measuring system. So it's usually it's a piece of vinyl that's printed, and that's 100% accurate, right? It's digital. Well, then we have to transfer that piece of vinyl onto the board, and so we have a measuring system where you kind of gauge it as you apply it, essentially, to make sure it's hitting at 20 inches, 30 inches, 40 inches. If for whatever reason there's a little bit of shrink or whatever in the vinyl, which is pretty rare, you got to reset, you stretch it to the appropriate length. It's a compression adhesive. So once it's pressed down with pressure, it grips on there, but it's not like just sticking a decal on your boat. It starts in the beginning, and you just got to step everyone down all the way to the end to get that accuracy. And then, the way we do it with assembling the board first, if there's any inaccuracies within the hinges, that gets compensated for by the way that we stick it. So, everything's handmade. The hinges, we hand drill every single hinge. And so every part is hand routed. So
God,
in the
I
board,
couldn't imagine how much I would fuck that up.
yeah.
Oh God,
And I still got all 10 fingers, so I'm
That's why
pretty
I got rid of it.
it would be so bad. I know it would be, and yeah, I don't even want that. I'm getting anxiety thinking about it. That would be awful.
Chase, did you ever have any work-related injuries?
Yeah, right when I first got it was like
He
December.
wasn't circumcised when he started it, and now
I am.
now he's actually he's almost Jewish. With the he's not Amish. But yes, no, go ahead.
During show season or something, right when I first got it, I was just getting into the mode of the routing hinges, and I actually got the big router bit, and I got it right down the side of the thumb. I got a scar from it. I'm not going to try to show you, but I chipped her off pretty good. I think I sent you pictures of that one. That was probably the worst one. Was the almost routing my entire thumb off.
It's amazing how that equipment cuts so efficiently.
Oh, I didn't feel it. I didn't know it. I just looked down, and then when I seen it, I'm like, oh God. And then it started bleeding, and then I felt it. It was just crazy how quick it happened.
Yeah.
It was bad.
That is horrible. I don't even know. I don't want to do any of that. I'm way not talented enough, nor do I want to do it. I could router my nose off, and then I'd have a normal size one. So
yeah, I could do that too.
That would help. But well, that's cool. I'm glad the boards and stuff are going good. And what's your most popular one you think you sell?
Chase told me this when we were talking about the transaction, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. And he basically said it goes month to month. It's the weirdest thing. One month we'll sell right-handed fat boys like they're going out of style, and the next month I won't sell 5. You know, so it's really hard. By and large, the originals still reign supreme, just kind of across the nation. Minnesota, definitely, fat boys are super popular. But yeah, I would say if it had to be one size, the original over the last year has been really, really solid. So
okay. So do you notice a lot of people asking about, because when these boards first came out, not even talking these boards, I'm just talking when bump boards first came out, no one knew to make them right and left-handed.
Right.
Because I was always bitching about this thing is and that's another reason I like the bump and go. It's ambidextrous. It's like me. It can use both hands, and it makes it a lot nicer for and I know you're probably like, shut the fuck up. I don't make as much money on those. But you can turn it, and it doesn't matter what hands you got the fish in. I always ask the guys, first half, I always ask them, what hand do you jerk off with? Because I know that's the strongest one. And then they, and then I know which way to turn the board. I mean, that's just it. I hope my mom's not listening.
I used to think, I can grab them either hand and be just as comfortable until Chase is a right-handed board guy. And I grabbed that one here last week, and I was like, geez, this thing is heavy. And, yeah, I realized which hand was the strong hand, which was opposite of what Chase's board was. But we managed to make it work. The picture might have turned out a shade better if I would have had a little bit more control over it. But, no, it's, and it's hard to explain to people because the left hand, right hand thing, it kind of gets them mixed up in their mind of, well, I'm not left-handed. Well, no, but a ruler generally goes left to right. So just to clarify that. And yeah, guys don't know. They just grab the fish. They never think about what hand they grab it with until they got to buy a bump board. And usually, like this year I probably had 3 guys call and be like, hey, is there any way I can flip this board? I think I got the wrong direction. It's like, yeah, we'll figure it out. So
just ask them which one they jerk off with. That's all I do. And then that is and I'm telling you, that is.
So here's the problem with that.
You'll learn a lot about a person really quick.
What do I do here during the holidays when the wives are buying boards for their husband? They don't know.
They do. They do. Don't let them play coy. They do. It's one of those. Yes, they do. But then you buy a bump and go. It's just easier.
That's right. Keep it simple.
It is. It's like me. It's easy and pathetic. Well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad that's going good for you.
Yeah.
Chase, we'll come back to you here. What, you've been on Leech. This was your second year?
Yeah, second year.
Second year out there. Kind of go through it with me. How was it? What was kind of happening out there, and how did you feel?
This year solidified my decision of buying a house here. Last year was extremely tough across the whole state, but definitely on Leech as well. There wasn't very many fish caught out there last summer, and the fish just never went to structure. And the only downfall with Leech that I can see is that it's a pretty shallow body of water. And it fishes shallow. You talk to people that fish here, they're fishing in 90% of the fish caught in summertime, if I had to guess. Traditional fishing, not whatever. Traditional fishing, the fish, 90% of them are caught in less than 5 feet of water. So if those fish don't go to that 5 feet of water or less, there is stupid amount of acres out there that they could be. And I think last year those fish were just in that area, and there just wasn't that many fish on structure. Because this year was, I would say, total opposite of that. They hit structure super early. There was tons and tons of fish on structure from, I don't even know, probably beginning of July this year to now. I mean, they're still there. They're still on the structure right now. So it's been an amazing year up here for me this year. I've had an absolute blast out here. Way better than last year. And I think the sole reason is the fish just actually went to structure this year, and they did not do it last year.
Yeah. So, let's say your summer stuff, July, August. What was, a good pattern for you?
Probably the most consistent pattern was rocks. The rock fishing, all the giant rock piles out in the lake, the small rock spines and whatnot coming off islands and points. All that stuff held fish from July to now. And certain rock piles were better on certain weeks, whatever. That was probably the most consistent thing as far as you just need to go out and see a fish or catch a fish. Just go to the rocks. They were very, very good. And then a lot of people, I'm assuming, heard about it. A lot of people started showing up and fishing the rocks. And I do think that affected the fish, and they were still there, but weren't nearly as bitey. So I kind of transitioned from rocks to sand and weeds, because there was hardly anybody on that. And I started consistently being able to catch fish almost every day. By doing that is leaving the rocks when a lot of guys were staying on the rocks and were kind of struggling, would have a blank day or two. And then when the fish were biting, they'd catch a couple. But to stay consistently catching fish every day, I had to kind of start, as the summer progressed and the pressure increased, I had to start going to sand, start going to weeds. And I found fish on both. Sand fish were a little bit stingy, but I kind of feel like they're always stingy. The weed fish were awesome. They were biting every day almost, it seemed like. I mean, if I was really struggling, all I had to do was go to a weed edge and chuck a rubber or a trigger or a 10-9 or something, and we'd usually get bit. So the rocks were definitely the best, but as the summer progressed, the sand and the weeds definitely started lighting up for me.
So was there any good color or anything like that for you, or was it very day to day?
No, I got a handful of baits here. I didn't bring much summer stuff. I brought kind of what's recently, but I would say this was my best color all summer, and it's a super ugly one, but just
Flame
purple
pink?
skirt.
Oh,
It looks pink in the camera, but it's more just purple. It's purple with flame blades in a showgirl. And I actually had this bait last year, threw it like crazy, never did crap. This year we threw it and it caught the most fish for me all summer, for me and clients, and a couple really big ones. But it's just literally just a showgirl. And beginning of the summer on those rocks, the trigger was doing the best. And definitely seems like out here they love those brighter colors, little crazy colors, and I really like flame blades because other guides on the lake that I know, and network with, they're doing a lot of orange blades and different, but they're not really throwing flame. So I kind of threw flame just to be a little different, and the flame was definitely the best color blades for out here for me this summer. But trigger was really good to begin with, and then that once they kind of got a little pressure on them, I started throwing a Showgirl, and it was all burning. And then one day it just kind of went dead, the burning as fast as you could. And I was guiding a guy and his son, and I told the kid, I was like, hey, just start like reeling that thing in just medium. Do 5 cast medium retrieve and then 5 cast burning, and we'll see which one we get bit on. And he instantly, he got like a 45 3/4, caught that one going medium. Well, then the rest of the day, we got 4 more, so we end up with 5, and the biggest was a 51, all going medium retrieve on a Showgirl. And I get back into the lodge, talking to the other guides. I think there was like 1 or 2 fish caught out of 3 boats. And, but they were all going really fast because that's what had been working. So that little change definitely helped. And that bite kind of stayed consistent with the big fish, especially on the rocks. As far as topwater goes, this was definitely my best, was a 7-inch plastic pacemaker. And one little thing that I'll tell you to do that I like is just you can put shrink tubing, or you can do what I do and just use black electrical tape. For some reason, I feel like this makes it sit. I mean, it's more weight back here, so it makes it sit a little bit lower, and I think it makes it run better and sound a little bit better. But when they were really eating bucktails, like if we were out in the rocks and I was guiding 3 people, or just say 2 people, the guy in the front's getting a bucktail, the guy behind him's getting this. And if the bucktail is getting bit reeling pretty quick, the pacemaker worked really well. Now, if I had the guy in the front of the boat and he's throwing the bucktail and he's going medium and he's getting bit, the secondary guy's getting a flaptail, which is what Jeff's making, the MK65. That was our best. So when they really amped up, really fired, wanting something fast, the pacemaker was a better topwater. When they wanted something a little slower or just being a little bit more negative, the MK65 was definitely the best.
Okay. Well, let's, Jeff, I'm going to look at this. I learned how to do this just now. There we go. The MK65, that's something that you're making. That's the bait that you got with Bomb Squad.
Yep.
That's kind of one of your original flaptails, right?
Yeah. So here's actually the original. This is the luckiest bait I own. This is the Mayhem's 10,000 cast bait, if I can get it out of my fingers. But this one here's got 2 54.5s. Same lake, different fish. Same day though, just a year apart. But yeah, that's kind of the OG. That's what we're known for that flap. And still to this day, the best seller that we got, and another good year for it. So blessed for that.
Yeah, and those baits, you're coming out with a newer one, right? A newer version of it.
Yeah, so I guess for your Patreon followers, they'll be the first and maybe only to see for a while here until we kind of start putting some stuff out. This is kind of going to be a show.
See that? Subscribe, God damn it!
That's
Get
right.
on there. Go Patreon. PATROQOSTNV at Patreon.com, and look it up, Muskie with a Y, and I crap. I see I there. Crap. And subscribe anyway.
Yeah, so we had just screwing around as we do. There's some baits that take years to come to fruition. There's some baits that never come to fruition. This one took 20 minutes, and it was one of those things where the idea kind of popped in my head. Oh shit, why have I never tried that? And that's exactly what Chase said when I sent him the first one. He's like, geez, why haven't we done this before? And built it up, threw it off the end of the dock, and in the first 10 cranks, I was like, holy shit, that's cool. That's some of those baits, they just have the sound that like, okay, that's probably really good. And this was it. And this one's not the first one. This one's actually got a little bit more bedazzled crap on it, but it was the one example that I had. But it's a double flap. So instead of the tail banging the back clicker, which a single flap does, it's actually the 2 blades hitting each other as they spin. And occasionally you get that blade to hit here. So you get 2 or 3 different metallic sounds out of it, but it's a lot more frequent of clicks. You can move it slow. You can still move it pretty fast. But once we really got the distance in between the blades dialed in, that's probably the most challenging thing, is finding that exact right position for those blades. We got that consistent click, or even sometimes inconsistent. Sometimes they would spin and not click, and all of a sudden they would hook up. The other cool thing is when those blades spin, they create a lot of drag, and when they let go or when they hit, that drag stops and that whole bait body will jerk to one side. So it's got a lot going on in that lure, just on a steady, slow to medium retrieve. You can go fast if you want, but a typical flap tail speed is kind of ideal for it. So
why does it look like it has a penis?
Well, that was just a little addition. I actually had an old tail blade, more like a ball sack, actually, I think.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, yeah, that was what. Now, why do you have that?
That I was just fucking around with. I was seeing, the other thing is, how much can you load onto it and still have it perform? So some baits are super touchy. I can't tell you how many baits I ran that's prototype number 1 and it runs awesome, and then you try and replicate it and it's like, fuck, can't get it to work. Too heavy, too light, whatever. So one, it was just, how many fucking things can I hang on this thing just to see if it works? This one's just a prototype I grabbed off the wall. Mm-hmm. The originals won't have it. I don't know if Chase has got his that he ran this fall, but and even Chase's has been modified by Chase, because that fucking guy can't not modify something.
So that's the one that you've been throwing?
Yeah. When Jeff was up last week or whatever, if you can see here, the blades hitting the body. I mentioned to him, I was like, I think we need to put a bigger disc here, because like he said, all the noise from this thing is the blades, and it's just as loud as his normal flap, as the MK65. But I think once we get that big disc on there, this is going to be what it's already doing, and then we're also going to get the metal kick there as well. So I think it'll be even louder and even crazier. I don't know. He sent this one. I really like it. I think one thing good about it is there's a lot more commotion back here, and like for example, Leech. These fish have just started seeing these MK65s in the last like 3 years, like really heavy, and like a ton of people are throwing them like this year, and I think they're getting a little bit used to them. And I'm getting a lot of fish now this year that have come up, and they get really squirrely, and you can literally see like their bodies quivering, and they just want to do it, but they don't. And while that was happening, I got this one and tried it, and those fish just went unglued on it. And I think it's just because it's got a little bit more commotion and a little bit more that they can actually see under the water, because instead of one blade, now there's two back there going like this. And it just got a lot more fish to commit, in my opinion, with the double blade aspect of it. Just all that more commotion back there. And it's not always clicking. It's splashing around a lot more. It's making more noise, just everything. A lot more motion going on back there, basically. There's a lot to it, really.
I can tell. You're very excited.
I am very excited
about it. What, Jeff, on that bait there, when can people get them? Where can they get them?
Yeah, the hope is, I'm starting to build them for show season. I'm probably only going to be doing baits for show season, just because, boards are where I need to stay focused. I lose focus super easily, which is probably another bad thing. But the hope was show season. I've got some done, and I don't know. It got out a little bit, so I've actually had a few people reach out. So I'm going to try and get some up on the website for Black Friday. But I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. I want to make sure I get all my other stuff done too. So hopefully, keep an eye on Bomb Squad baits around Black Friday for kind of a limited release, and then definitely for shows this year. Whatever if I don't sell them all at shows, then I'll offer it up to, the retailers, the main, kind of the main players there. And once they scoop them up, then I'll kind of be done for the year for them. So,
sure.
Yeah, it's a fun project. It's kind of a bitch to build. There's just a lot of parts. Like, I thought a flap tail had a lot of parts. I think I counted one time, there's like 22 different pieces of metal on my flaps. And now we just added another 3 more. So
are you gonna make those in the smaller version too, or just the big one?
So, God dang, you ask good questions.
Most people, yeah, I do look like
I'll do this just
Barbara
for the
Walters
Patreon folks.
when she was muscular. Where did you go? Jesus. Oh, you're back there. Let's go back to this picture. Oh, no, not that one. See ya.
So we're working again. This is why you subscribe, people.
Exactly. Subscribe, Patreon.
This is the next version.
I haven't even seen this one.
This one's been a little bit more tricky because I need to get the buoyancy right, but I'm trying to shrink it down in diameter. So this is only 4.5 inches long. This one here is pretty solid. I'm going to change this system a little bit, but
we call that one Asian.
So here you can see the size difference of the two. Top one's 7 inches long. Bottom one's 4.5.
So, all right. Question. It looks like you've changed the pull point. Put that one back up there. There. It looks like you've changed the pull point. Normally on the flap, isn't it lower? And then that one's in the middle. Chase, yours was in the middle.
Yeah. So that's prototyping phase right there. So it will be down low. What I found, like walk the dogs, I think they tend to nosedive more, which sometimes is a good thing if we have a centered pull point. The down low tends to get that head to pop a little bit more. What I've noticed, and again, this is all just playing around to see how I can get it to perform different or better. When you have your pull point on a flap coming down from down low, it kind of lifts that head up. You get a little bit better click and water going through your blade, but you also get more of a roll and a head shake. When it's straight on, it just kind of plows. And I think that's one thing that really sets my regular flaps apart is I get my blade deeper by the way I mount it than most people can. So that's why I kind of always get good clicking, clanking. Oftentimes others will kind of plane out, or it'll go for 10 cranks and not make a single sound. Sometimes that's good, where you get really intermittent sound. But I prefer pretty consistent, erratic, often clinking, clanking. And so, we're just playing around with this here, figuring out kind of where the best is. Like this system here, that's going to be a stainless spreader. That's just me getting the blades in the right spot, trying to figure out the right distance. Distance of a 1/4 inch makes a shitload of difference on these things if they're going to hit or not hit.
Are those number 8 blades?
I can't remember what these were. These are on the big one. They are, or Mag 9s, depending upon where you're buying them from.
See, that's another thing. I got a little.
Oh God!
Is that why do these companies all their blades? Why isn't there just standard? All right, metric system. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. I know if we're in the U.S. I know. Don't even get me started on that. But it just gets something that's like an industry standard. You start buying blades. Like I buy a lot of blades from, a lot of places. And every time you buy one, you're like, oh, this is and everybody's like, oh, this is an 8. Well, if you buy it from this guy, it's a 7. If you buy it from this guy, it's a 14. It doesn't make any sense. And can you tell me why?
I can't. And I will add on to that with hooks.
I thought you got a beard so we can look smart.
What I Mustad's so different than a 3/0 Eagle Claw. They're not even close.
Yeah,
but
that's annoying.
It's a junior, Greg. It's a junior cowgirl blade, and then I think what he just had was showgirl blades.
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. But it just annoys me with all these companies' blade sizes that you've got to know that this is Worth size. Well, this is Lakeland size. Well, this is Billy with a side cutter size. It's annoying. And I don't know. I want somebody to tell me why. And I want a lot of things. But no, that's cool, man. That's pretty awesome. So you think you'll have some ready to sell by the end of the month?
I'll definitely have some of the big ones. Been painting, clearing some of those here as we go. So I'll definitely have some of those ready. The little ones, I just haven't had the time on them yet. I want to get a few fish on them, make sure there's no inconsistencies and just again, each piece of wood's different too. So, with any of that stuff, I usually weigh it out and make sure that I know how much it weighs. If there's an upper limit, which really there hasn't proven to be. So, some guys like a heavier bait that creates a heavier wake. Some guys like to, let them float a little bit more. So they both run the same. Now it's
I like to fish mine under a bobber.
Maybe I should start making.
That is truly my favorite way to fish surface baits. It's the easiest. You just set out there. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll put a proposition up for you here. Can I buy 2 of them and then give them away to all new subscribers up until December 1st, and then I'll give one away to old subscribers who've been here since the beginning.
Absolutely.
Ha! See? You put them on the spot, guys. They got to say yes. That's what I like. So, I'll do that. I'll buy 2 of them. And then, guys, you heard it. We're going to do so till on December 1st. I'll do a drawing. Everybody from the day this podcast released, any new subscribers to the Patreon, it's $8. Come on, you gambling addicts. Where are you? You'll go in. I'll draw it on the podcast. And then for all my old subscribers, my favorite old subscriber, and I'm going to give you a shout out. His email is Dolly Parton's left tit. And I love it.
Is that Tony?
No, I don't know who he is, but he's my favorite because it always pops up on the Patreon feed, and I love that guy. I don't know about the right one, but the left one's covered. But no, we'll do that. Chase, let's talk about what's going on right now up there. What's happening on Leech at this moment?
Playing around on a little bit of rocks, but the water temp's not quite right for that yet. We did get a 48.5 yesterday on the rocks.
Okay.
That was on a Dying Dog, my favorite bait ever.
Nice.
There. Brad actually caught that one. It was a pretty stupid. We were filming, so this will all be on an episode this winter. But it's probably the luckiest fish I've ever seen anybody catch. Brad was literally standing there on the front of the bow with his bait, just sitting in the water.
Watching his bobber.
With a bobber, and I had just marked one behind the boat, so I flipped back to that one, and I'm trying to catch it, obviously, whatever. And I just hear him yell, and I look up, and he's got one. Well, I didn't get to see it happen, but it literally just ate it off the surface while he's hanging over the side of the boat.
The dangle. I like it.
The dangle method. And it was
I love the dangle.
So it was a big fish. He got that one. I got then the rocks. We've seen a few fish, a couple really nice fish, but weeds were a little bit more consistent. I got a 15 3/4 yesterday on a swim fin, actually. Mm-hmm. This is a prototype. I had actually never had one until about 3 days ago. I texted Brady and he sent me up. This one's a prototype. This is his biggest size. I think it's a 9-inch or 10, 11 inches, something like that. He's got 3 different sizes, small one, this one, and the medium one. Well, about first hour and a half of throwing that, got a 15 3/4 on that one. Brad got another one on the Dying Dog, and then today I got one on a Husky Medusa, ripping in some weeds, and then my girlfriend Grace caught her new PB at a 47.5 on a Restless Rider. And what I was doing to this actually was she hasn't got the ripping rubber quite down yet, especially when she's wearing 8 layers of super heavy clothes that are my size. So I kind of got her throwing this and just straight retrieving it, and I threw a chaos weight on the top. It's an 1.5 ounce chaos weight. You throw that out about medium retrieve, it's going down about 8 to 10 feet of water. So it was running about perfect right with those weeds, and a lot of the weeds are dying here. So there's not real tall weeds, if that makes sense. Like a lot of them, like they're just say you're in 13 feet of water, they only come up to about 10. So it's just kind of real scrubby stuff. And so you can get those baits. They need to get down there a little closer to the bottom. Those fish are sitting on the bottom. That was a good bait for us. Kind of really everything. Quad Dog caught a fish the other day. But Dying Dog, Medusa, the Restless Rider, and that swim fin were the best the last couple days.
Who's making the Restless Rider now?
I have no idea. When they first came out many years ago, I bought one, and to be honest, I hated it and never bought another one. And then this summer, for some reason, I bought that one, and I really, really like it.
Yeah. I'm
a
trying
cool
to
bait.
remember. I know, where did that come from? I know Jason Jackson, his old partner, what was his name? They fished the tournaments together. Moxon? Yeah, Kyle Moxon from up in
St. Clair.
St. Clair had them. And then I don't know who's got them now. Somebody's painting them, though. Those things look.
It's a sweet color.
Yeah, that's a good paint job there. But cool. It sounds like some people are catching fish. Sounds like fishing's going pretty good. Please send some luck my way because I need all the help I can get. And that would be really good. So, Jeff, I appreciate you coming on here. How can somebody buy anything from you? Muskie Bumper, Bomb Squad, what do they got to do?
Yep, just website, Bomb Squad Baits, fishbumper.com. That'll get me, Jeff Bumper at Gmail, if you got any custom board requests or whatever. And we can get you set up and get you ready in time for Christmas.
Nice. All right, Chase, how can somebody get a hold of you?
I can just on social medias, just Chase Gibson Fishing, and then my phone number is 304-816-6607.
All right. And guys, I appreciate you coming on. If anybody out there is looking for some live bait rigs, you can check out Stealth Tackle at stealthtackle.net. We got the GT rig. I'll let you guess what that stands for. They've been working okay, getting a few nibbles. And there is also check out Thorne Brothers if you're looking for maybe some new muskie equipment or you're wanting to get into ice fishing here coming up. They got a lot of stuff there at thornbros.com. And Gill products if you're looking for a rain suit, warm suit. I've been wearing them all year. And even when it's not raining and I stay dry. So that's nice. So if you want to stay dry, even when it's not raining, wear Gill. Don't be a pill, buy Gill. I will, thanks for coming on, guys. And I will talk to you later. Please stay on for just a minute, okay?
Okay.